I'm Scott. In this video, I'm going to document the process of replacing my old plastic spinner / dial that came on my Asteroids Arcade1UP cabinet with a new aluminum dial that's made by GRS, Glen's Retro Show. This video is part of a series of videos I have on my YouTube channel that's related to the Arcade1UP cabinets. The spinner control comes on 3 of the Arcade1UP cabinets: the Asteroids cabinet, the Asteroids Deluxe cabinet, and the Atari 12-in-1 cabinet. In a previous video on my YouTube channel, I documented the process of making 3 mods to this plastic spinner / dial that makes it more usable in your Arcade1UP cabinets. The link to that video is in the description below. Watching that video before you watch this may help, or watching it right after you watch this video may help explain to you why we would want to replace this old plastic spinner with this new anodized aluminum spinner. Now the fella that put together this aluminum spinner, his name is Glen Planamento, and he's a vintage arcade enthusiast. He has his own YouTube channel. It's the GRS, the Glen's Retro Show. And it's pretty cool, it's pretty neat, unique. If you like any of the arcade vintage video stuff, he's got all kinds of information out there for you. And he's also the host of the Facebook group that's the fan page for the Arcade1UP cabinet. So Glen's a good guy. He put this together. So let's see how we actually install it, replacing this plastic spinner with this new aluminum spinner. I made the 3 modifications to the spinner. I added the pennies to make it heavier. So I added another suggestion somebody had where I had black electrical tape, and that was just enough clearance. So it's not rubbing on my control panel anymore. And so the pennies gave me the weight I was looking for. And then the electrical tape on the rod, that definitely fixed the slack. So the tape on the rod, I would give that 100%. That took away the slack. The pennies, as far as weight, it is more dense. So I give that 100%. But I did get it where it's not rubbing on my control panel anymore. But it still doesn't spin. So it's still a dial. It's not a spinner where you could just, if you had a spinner, I'd go like that and it would go. It's not that. All right, let's start unboxing the spinner. I got the retro spinner from Glen's Retro Show, Glen Planamento's YouTube channel. He also hosts the Facebook group for the Arcade1 official fan book page. So we just slice that open, slice that. Slice over here, this pops out. So it's a handheld box, right? Pop it open, and what do we see? Let's see. All right, this is nice. It's a letter from Glen telling you about the spinner, how it works with the Asteroids Deluxe 12-in-1. How he's having another board made up that will connect it to the trackball on the 12-in-1, and that with that board, this will also be compatible with using a PC. So if you want to do like a RetroPie or something, you could use this the spinner in your RetroPie PC. All right, next thing we see, nice printout, directions, pretty straightforward, list of materials. Step 1, remove the control panel, the old spinner. Step 2, install the new spinner. Step 3, install the wiring harness. Step 4, install the top of the spinner. Step 5 is optional if you have the control panel overlay. He gives you a little expander button to put underneath the spinner knob. I'll do that later. I won't do that today's video. And then over here, he gives you a little diagram for where you can make adjustments to the sensitivity of the spinner. So it's set up from the factory default for Tempest, which is good for me. But there's some other games such as Gravatar and that you may want to make some adjustments, or Super Breakout. But I won't be going into that today. All right, let's unbox this thing and see what's inside. That's a nice styrofoam. This is the spinner. Wow, that definitely has some weight to it. I'll get my scale out here in a little bit and we'll see what the weight is on that. And there is the wiring harness, some screws to screw it down onto the control panel. Here's the expander button that you'll need if you have the control panel overlay. That's nice. They were thinking. Somebody was definitely thinking. And then here is just a little moisture package. And then this is it. That's nice. Boy, this is weighty too. Okay, in here, let's see if I can get a good close-up of that. Well, you can see the ball bearings. Hopefully you can see the ball bearings when I turn it. Nice, 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 nice. This has weight to it also. Very impressive. This is not plastic. This is not junk. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm actually really, sincerely, I'm getting excited. I mean, this is nice. Okay, before we install this, I want to go ahead and weigh it. I brought my scale out. I do a lot of backcountry, long distance hiking, so we weigh all of our equipment and we get it down to the ounces. So I have this scale sitting around. So here is the underside of the spinner. This is under the control panel, and it weighs roughly 3.9 ounces. And I tell you, this feels great. They did a nice job on this. It's nice. And here is the spinner knob. It's solid. It's one piece of aluminum, and it weighs 2.9 ounces. So together it weighs 6.8 ounces. So it's nice. I mean, this is well made. I can't explain to you how much different this feels compared to that stock plastic spinner / dial that comes up on those Arcade1UP cabinets. This is so much nicer. I'm excited about putting this in, installing this, and see what the difference is in gameplay. All right, first step, remove the original spinner. So to do that, I'm gonna have to remove the control panel, unplug the connector on the control panel, and then I'll take this over to my bench. So I'll speed the film up. Won't put you through the misery of watching all that. All right, got the control panel here over at my desk. So we flip it over. It's got these protective covering all the controls. So I gotta remove the 6 screws. So I'll do that and we'll cut back. All right, the screws are removed. Just remove the protective cover. And now we're gonna remove the spinner. There's two screws over here on this side. One on this side. And then that lifts off like that. So now I have to remove these 2 screws. And the bottom comes off, and then the spinner comes out of the hole. So I have to remove this piece right here. This is all one unit, and I'm going to have to snip this, I forget what they call it, but I have to snip that because I'm going to pull this out. of the control panel. That will pull up. Okay, to release this harness connector, release this harness connector right here, there's a tab right there, and that tab's got to be sprung this way, and then this pulls up. So you have to take like a little screwdriver, put it in there, and it'll spring it. So I'm going to use two hands. My head's probably going to be in the way when I do this, but so I put this screwdriver just enough, which springs it loose. Being gentle not to pull the wires, and it comes loose. All right, so once again, I'll snip this. Golly, I forgot what the heck they call that. And then I'll put the new, this will be totally free, and I'll put the new harness for my trackball on there, and I'll put one of these back on there. I've got them in stock. I just can't remember what they're called. Dang nabbit. All right, let's snip this thing off. Make sure you're not snipping any wires that freeze it. Now, so this is the connector from the old spinner, and this is the connector from the new wiring harness, and they are exactly alike. So one's just going to replace the other. So out with the old, in with the new. So I just clip that in. It only goes one way. All right, it's in there. So there's my new wiring harness. All right, we're on to step 2. It says install the TSUSP01 spinner body from the back of the control panel with screws, at least 4 pieces. Now in Glen's video, he only used 2 screws, so I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll see. All right, so just to set this up to match Glen's picture, here's the connector at the top. Here is the spinner body, under control panel body. The big connector is away from this connector, so small connector facing this connector. So I put it in there, and this thing comes with all these pre-drilled holes, so you can configure it whatever way you want. And 4 of them line up. I think just out of the gate, I'm just going to set it up with 2 screws, and if everything works out right, then I'm going to come back in and install the other 2 screws. So I'll start out with 2, make sure everything's good, and install 4. Okay, just to show you what I'm doing here. Now, my fancy workbench table here is nothing but a pool table, okay? And kind of works out pretty good. I just put the lip right here of the control panel up on one of the bumpers, and that leaves an area, a void area where this spinner goes down into it, so it's not pressed against the floor of the workbench. And that's just enough room where it just hangs in there, so I can screw these in. And I misstated earlier on the video that there's 4 holes that line up. There's actually only 2, so if I want to put more screws in here, I'll have to pre-drill some tiny holes to get it going. But yeah, just using the edge of the pool table bumper, that works out great. Now I'm tightening, but not over tightening. This is just pressed wood. This is cheap stuff, so you don't want to over tighten or you strip your holes for your screws. All right, moving on to step 3. Replace the original wiring harness with the new wiring harness. Now we started doing that. I put it on the big 4-pin on there already, and now I'm going to put the smaller 4-pin onto the smaller connector of this board, and it only goes in one way, and it snaps in there. Okay. All right, moving right along. Step 4. Install the spinner knob from the top of the control panel. Use the hex socket to fix it, make it stick. Basically use that to screw that into there. Okay, so in this little package of screws, I get the wrench, yay, but there's no screw in here. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, Glen, he's a tricky little fella. That screw is already, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's already in there. It's tiny, you can't see it this way, but I can see it in there. So after a moment of panicking, I thought, let me just check in there. So that unscrews. All right, and I just barely unscrewed it. It's just gonna slip on top of there, and then we're gonna tighten it down. So flip this over. Now, I'm gonna pause the video here because when I flip it over, I'm gonna install this black cover back onto it. I'm not gonna film that, but that's gonna go on before I flip it over. Now, before I install that back protective cover, I just want to show you this because there's some backlighting in here. Look how perfectly centered that thing is. That bracket, it goes into those holes that were already there for the original plastic spinner thing. This thing is perfectly centered in that hole. You don't have to do any work at all. It literally is just plug and play. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, so I screwed on the back plastic panel, and we'll continue on with step 4. Now, remember, I don't have the clear acrylic control panel overlay. I mean, I have it in stock. I'm just not going to put it on for this video. But if I did, you put this little knob. Okay, you have to put that on top right here, and that will extend the spinner knob up so it clears the plastic acrylic control panel overlay. So I just installed this. It literally just slips right on top of it, and then I take my my wrench and I just go in here and screw it down. Okay, at that point I just screwed it, hand tight. I didn't go crazy on it. I didn't put a torque wrench on it or anything like that. And we'll see if it holds. It may need some Loctite of some type. So not permanent Loctite, but something to give it a little. I've had those issues with pinball machines a lot too. So we'll see how it goes. But that's just hand tight, okay? And that thing is spinning. Okay, so at that point, that completes the installation, the removal of the old black plastic spinner / dial, and the installation of the new solid aluminum spinner. And it's on ball bearings, and that's all on the control panel. I'm done. Now I just got to take the control panel back over to the game, install a connector back here, put the 4 screws on, turn it on, and play some games. All right, let's install the control panel. Once again, I'll just fast forward through all this stuff so you can see it. Okay, snug, but not tight. You don't want to strip those out. All right, here's a moment of truth. I'm going to turn this on. I'm just going to fast forward. Okay, we're back. Live action. So this is it. I hope it's not a dud, but we're going to use the spinner to go through the menu. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. So, Glen's video on this was not smoke and mirrors. Wow. Watch me spin this. Wow. Holy mackerel. That's awesome. Okay, let's play Tempest. Give me some money. Give me some coins. Let's just play the easy one. That's fine. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. I know I need to get a bigger vocabulary than wow, but I'm telling you, this is like I remember. This is nothing like that's dial, like plastic dial. Wow. Hey, come on. Now, this will take some getting used to for me because I'm used to that dial. So it's worth it. I'll get used to it. Wow, look at that. They're just spinning around. Wow, look at that. Awesome. Okay. All right, Glenn. That's not one thumbs up. That's 2 thumbs up, buddy. Good job. Alright, that wraps up this video on replacing my old plastic spinner dial from Arcade1UP with this new aluminum one from Glen Planamento that I purchased for 50 bucks off of Amazon. Hopefully this video helps you feel comfortable that the 50 bucks you have to spend on this spinner is worth it. It's worth every penny of it. I'm glad I spent the 50 bucks on it. It's definitely a game changer. Does the aluminum metal spinner, does it actually impact gameplay on Tempest and Major Havoc? Yes, it does, very much so. Am I glad I spent the 50 bucks to purchase this aluminum drop-in replacement for that plastic dial/spinner that came with the cabinet? Yes, I am. All right, be sure to keep watching my YouTube channel, so I'll release more upcoming videos on these Arcade1UP cabinets. Now, if you like this video, click on the thumbs up. If you dislike this video, click on the thumbs down. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below and ring that bell if you want to get notifications when I add content to my YouTube channel. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comment section below. All right, go out there and have a good day. And as Glen Planamento would say, game on.